So hold on, Noreen is calling me. Hello?
I don't have a link.
It's on your email. I sent it to you in the morning.
Today?
Yes.
Oh my God, Paula, I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
I didn't see it.
It's okay.
Hold on, because I'm ready. Like, I just need to log in. Oh, here it is. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. Oh, what a bad friend.
I mean, it is shit happens.
It really happened.
And you're on loudspeaker while I'm on live, so you're fine. You kind of.
Okay, let me hang up. I will log in.
All right.
Okay.
Shit happens. Shit happens to you and me. It doesn't matter if you're a wizard, a king, or a queen. Even if you are magic, you gotta agree. It's worth it to talk shit out, no matter how messy. Shit happens. Shit happens.
Just FYI, this episode was recorded February of 2024 and it is now February 2025. Enjoy.
I told myself this year is the year of possibilities. And I'm going to make sure I'm in every room that has possibilities of me and my growth into this journey. Do whatever you want to do with that. Oh my God, Dominic always says, shout out to Dominic. He always say, whenever he says something, right? And then he say, do what you will with that. Like, you can either take it to heart, you can either listen to it, you can either follow, you can either fuck it up. It is what it is.
And it sure was a year of possibilities. And I sure did grab as much opportunity as I could. Now this year is a savage year. Because even though I grabbed as much opportunity as I could, I was humble, very humble last year. Hence, savage year 2025.
All right, guys, guess I'm sticking around. Noreen is jumping on. And Noreen is over here. So I am going to go ahead and bring her on. Okay, she's back.
Oh my God, Paula.
I mean, ma'am, I do know that this is shit happens, but damn, shit really happens.
It got real. It got real. I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
It's okay. For some reason, my headphones won't connect, so I don't know what's going on with me.
Mine wouldn't connect either. That was my problem. I tried to connect like we did the other day, Wisdom Wednesday, and it just wouldn't do it today. So I said, you know what? We're just gonna go.
But that's on us. I mean, we know better. We know we should have been here like 15 minutes before
Yes,
and done our tech check.
yes.
So what happened? So because I was letting my whoever was watching, even if nobody was watching, that I got stood up. So you wanna tell me what happened? Why did you stood me out?
Oh,
I think me and the people need an
I
explanation.
did not stand up, your queen. I was having a moment. I had an emergency and it slipped my mind. And so she said, "Hey, are you coming on?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness." And the funny thing is, I see it on my calendar and I'm like, "Okay, I saw your post." Yeah, she posted it. So I must have set myself a reminder to like go listen to the episode. And then I forgot about this one and the mix up that is my life. So I am so sorry, all the shit talkers out there. I did not mean to make your queen late for her appointment. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me.
So I'm sorry you were having a moment, and I do understand. Sometimes, I mean, that's why this segment is called "Shit Happens," right? Because that's the reality of life. Shit does happen, but
Exactly.
it also taught me something, because I could have easily been like, let me cancel, let me not show up, right? But instead, I still jumped on and was like, I'm still going to talk to people and say some things. And then if you show up, cool, we shall do it. If you don't, shit happens. But it taught me that I still need to show up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of a little bit of something that we were talking about the other days is really showing up for community. But yeah, we definitely have to show up for ourselves. We have to just be adaptable and be able to just adapt ourselves to any situation, right?
Oh my God. And it's funny. Yes, and it's funny that all this is happening because I was literally going to talk to you. We were going to talk about being resilient and faith. Because right now I was about to give up. Yeah.
No, we cannot give up. You done stayed on this whole time. See, you have to be able to bounce back. But as podcasters,
Literally.
we deal with this all the time.
And this is real life. And the thing is, when I was doing Talk Shit with P, it was pre-recorded, right? So it didn't matter. I wasn't on live, but this happening on live.
Hey, you know what? Real life is life. So these things
Shit
happen. And
happens.
shit is happening. It's happening today.
So how was your day?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I woke up in a zen funky mood, if that makes sense. I woke up, I went downstairs, I worked out for about an hour. I watched my Ready to Love, Don't Judge. And then I got in the shower, washed my
What's
hair.
ready to love?
Oh, Ready to Love is like by Tommy Miles. So it's like black folks trying to find love. It's all about black love. I love it. And it's just
Ah,
about a bunch of singles. I think they're in they're not in Dallas anymore, but they're still in Texas. I can't remember what part they are in, but it's
so
just a bunch of single left.
kind of like married at first sight.
Kind of like what?
Married at first sight.
No, they're not getting married. They're just trying to date. It's kind of like The
Ah,
Bachelor, but like an even playing field. I think it's like 10 women, 10 men, or 18 women. Yeah, 9 women to 9 men, or something like that. And
God.
and then they just try to get to know each other. There's a bunch of mixers. Apparently dating life is hard. So this guy Tommy Miles, and it's a Will Packer production, and so it's a black show, and so they go from city
Dating
to
life
city.
is really.
Yeah, they go from city to
It's
city trying to get black love to work.
it's tough out here. Let me know when they're in Atlanta.
Well, I mean, shoot, if I see it, I'll definitely let you know. Be like, oh my God, follow us on the show. There's no way they wouldn't cast you.
I don't know, man. I fear finding love on these shows. There's one time I was like, maybe I should go to Love is Blind because that's my thing. Because I want deep connection, I know. But then I don't know if I want my journey to be on TV.
Yeah, I don't think I want my journey to be on TV either. I like authentic connections, but I need to see you, and I need to talk to you because I need to know if we're aligned. I was watching today and one of the guys, he was talking to a girl and, he asked her if she had kids. She said, yes, she had kids. She asked him if he had kids. He said no, but he would like some kids. And he asked her if she would like some kids. And she said, no, I don't want any more kids. And he was like, nice to meet you. Good luck on your journey. I was like, well, all right.
I mean, at that point, we already don't want the same things.
Yeah.
I did the
Yeah.
same. I went on a date with a guy, and he told me he got a vasectomy. So that means
Oh,
he can't have any more kids.
yeah.
I was like, well, this was fun because I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere because I knew I want at least one child. Like, I know I
Yeah.
want a child. So why waste my time?
Exactly. Yeah, and a lot of people, in your theme of resilience, a lot of people when they go through a lot of things, they kind of like don't really bounce back from that before they dive into something new. And I feel like it's so important for people to just take that time to just heal themselves before trying to get back in the journey of trying to find love. It's so important for you to know who you are, know what you want, know where you're going, know what you're bringing to the table in order for you to actually find that person that you want to eat with at that table. You know what I mean?
It's funny. I think, maybe that's why this needed to still happen, because it's funny you brought that up, because literally 2 hours ago I just commented on a post. You see, I'm being nosy now. I had a door slam and now I'm like,
Right. Like,
God help me. But 2 hours ago I commented on a post. Somebody posted, oh my God, I don't know why I forgot her name, and I just met her last week at Podfest, and her post was like, uh something like, everybody who gets out of it should be a requirement that everybody who gets out of a long-term relationship to have therapy, something like that.
mm-hmm.
Because it's so true. People, especially people who have been in a longer relationship, right?
Yeah,
You really, most people end up losing themselves because they're so used to to two people instead of just themselves. So when you enter this what, and then you're gonna be too quick to jump in any other thing because you're used to always having somebody. But you gotta
that's
find first yourself again. You gotta figure out who you are, what do you want, because outside of what that was, that way you don't bring any more garbage to your next relationship. Also, you end up
exactly.
finding the right one, because you might go on to that, and that's when it happens. 6 months, 12 months, just half because it didn't align and you didn't work on yourself.
Yeah, and then you have to be open. You can't go into finding love close-minded. You have to be open to every possibility. Now, if you have these deep-rooted preferences, like he must be tall, he must be chocolate, he must have six-pack, he must drive a Lexus. If you have those type of superficial ideals and you know things that you put up for yourself, you're not going to really find that, but you have to really look more within, like, okay, I need somebody that's a good person, somebody that, maybe shares the same religion, shares your same morals and values, and then you get into the hobbies and all the other things that would be important to you.
And that's so true. And for some reason, I'm into dad bodies these days, so they can have the 6 pack.
Yeah, you know what? I think people that have a six-pack, I always feel like when I was out in the dating world, I always used to think, oh God, please, then let me not date a gym buff, because then he's going to want me to do all these different things. Like, if he's going to be a gym buff, let him be on his gym journey by himself. Let me be on my journey, because if I'm fat and if I'm having like a positive, what do you call it, body negativity moment, I don't need him to be chiming in like, well, if you stop eating this and if you stop eating that. No, mind your business, stay in your lane. Don't push your journey onto me. I will get there on my own. Now if I come to you and ask for advice, then yes, please give it. But please do not give me unsolicited advice. I always feel like, oh gosh, I don't want to date a guy that is too much into that, because then he's, I'm not going to be for him, because I'm not going to wake up at 5 a.m. to go work out with you. I may wake up at 9 a.m. to go work out with you, but if you're like one of those people that have to be so regimented at 5 a.m. and then you have to have your protein shakes and all these different things and your protein bars and all that. I'm like, no, because today is pasta day and I need you to be okay with that.
Oh my God, it's so funny you say that. First of all, now I want pasta. But it's so funny you say that, because on my dating apps, anytime I see a guy who's like, they write gym so much, or they have all these gym pictures. I don't care how hot you look. I'm swiping. Like I know I do not
We're
want,
going to the left.
like I want, if I want to go to the gym, I go, and if I don't, I don't. But I don't want somebody.
Exactly.
So there's this guy, I've been enjoying Facebook dating. It's so funny, y'all. Like it's
Really,
the
I've always
creepiest
been
of.
wondering how that was turning out for people. Facebook dating.
Oh, it's trash. Like you think Tinder is trash, Facebook dating is trash. But I've
You know
really been
what? What
enjoying
was
it.
trash? Plenty of fish. I thought that was trash.
I've never tried that one ever because a lot of people are
A
complaining
bunch
about
of
it. So I
weird
didn't even
people was on.
bother. But
No,
so
I
the
encountered a
thing
bunch
is,
of weird people on there.
Facebook dating is so trash, but it kind of reminds me of my trash TVs. So whenever I'm just like, let me see what's going on today, and I get all the weirdos liking me. So there's this guy who literally is his bio says he's looking for somebody to go to the gym with, whatever, whatever, and then he liked me, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't go to the gym every day. I barely go, so I'm not the one for you, because you can message them as you reply. You like
Mhm.
them, and I was like, but you have a picture of you in a gym with a boxing bag. I'm like, I box, and I haven't done that in seven. I don't know in how many months, but I don't go to the gym. Like I'll have these moments, and me most of the time I do work out in a ways of stretching, like sit
Yeah.
ups, running. I used to go to my other gym in my old apartment. Our gym had a climbing wall which spin around, so that was kind of good for stretching, and it had the boxing bag. So that's why I was at the gym, because I love boxing. But I'm not going to the gym for the treadmills and the lifting and none of that. I don't do none.
No, no. And my husband and I, we have a bunch of stuff downstairs in our basement. Our whole basement is the gym. And then, of course, is the movie theater down there, too. So that's really where we zen out. His studio's there. That's like the zen area of the house. That's the creative area. But I try to just stay healthy. I'm down 8 pounds. I have 12 more to go. My goal is 20. I didn't give myself an end date. I just want to lose 20 pounds. So I'm taking the pressure. Like sometimes you say, I want to lose weight by this date. And then you put so much pressure on yourself. I'm not doing that to myself. I just say, I want to lose 20 pounds. When I lose it, I lose it. But I'm actively working to lose it. Does
And
that make
that's all.
sense?
Yeah, it does. Because even me, whenever I used to say I want to gain weight, and I tried forcing myself to eat so much and shit, I wasn't gaining shit. Because also the mind, because it's in your mind constantly. So you're not doing the other things that you're supposed to do as well to help you gain the weight. You're just concentrating on eating, and I gotta gain, I gotta gain, I gotta gain, I gotta. So when I
Yeah.
stopped caring and not overthinking it and just be like, I want to gain and I'm going to do my best, but if it doesn't happen, and so they started gaining.
Yeah. I think some things are mind over matter, but you have to really be intentional about what you're really putting into your body, and don't let me get to preaching about that. But, as Black women, we have to be very mindful of heart disease, and eating a bunch of things that are not good for our body. And, hey, I'm not going to throw my red meat under the bus because your sis loves a good ribeye, okay, with the fat, you know. But we have to be very cognizant about what we're putting in our bodies. So whether we're trying to lose weight or gain weight, we have to just really have like a plan on how we're gonna get to this ideal weight goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so true. Now,
Yeah.
before we
Because
really drift off,
huh?
go ahead.
When I work out, it's like I don't say, okay, I'm gonna do 20 reps of this and 30 reps of that. I go down, I stretch, I don't do anything in order. I just do them all. I say, okay, this is because listen, I'm of a different age. So if I wake up with body aches, then I'm going to do the things that's not going to ache my body that day. I'm going to do more stretching. I'm going to do less vigorous stuff. I have that stair thing where you step on it and you do that. I love to get on that. My knees are killing me. I'm not gonna get on that. I'm just gonna go slowly, maybe not as much as, or not as hard as I normally go. But my target areas are my arms and my stomach, and my legs are sexy. They all right. But I go in there with just like not putting any pressure on anything. I just do what I need to do and I get out and I don't put bad things in my body. I'm not a calorie counter, but it is what it is. See, we we started talking about love. Now we're on weight gain. we're on fitness, and we should be talking about.
Let's get back to track. So am I read this right? Resilience for her is not merely bouncing back, but bouncing forward, embracing change, and emerging stronger after setbacks. Let's dive into that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, after the year I've had, okay, let me not even think deep things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even just here right now while I was trying to figure this shit out. I was just this close to just saying like maybe we should reschedule, right? But then that would be giving up, right?
It
And
would.
and that would mean also you don't have faith that you can make this shit happen.
Yeah. Yeah. But you
So
bounce back really well, though. You bounce back well. You hung in there, because listen, like I said, as podcasters, this could happen. You could have like a very important interview and you could do the tech check and then you hit live and then all hell breaks loose, And so it's just about how you really overcome it. And you bounce back really well. You bounce back really well. So applaud yourself. I'll give you a round of applause.
after she stands me up, now she's praising me.
Hey,
But
I didn't stand you up. I was a little. Let's reframe that. Remember, we learned that. Let's reframe that. I was a tad bit late. Shit was happening in my
a
world,
bit
and
late.
so I was a little bit delayed.
She needs to buy me lunch now because she brought up pasta and she was late. So now she needs to buy me pasta for lunch.
Now you come in
So
my city, I will show you the whole town. I will take you to eat. We will eat our way through the city. I love to eat. That's why I need to get in
even
shape now
accent
so that I can
about
eat what I want.
we will eat. I will take you to eat. We shall eat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to this.
So besides this, how did you besides this little conundrum that we was just into with the technology? Because let me tell you, StreamYard is sometimes it could be hard to manage sometimes because I was just trying to hook up my microphone on it, and that's when I couldn't hear you, and I just disconnected, and I was like, okay, we're not doing microphones today, then, But how do you bounce back from normal things in your life?
So that's the thing, right? Last year was really tough for me, right? And I contemplated suicide back and forth. Like I really was. And it's funny because I showed up online because my podcast was still going on and I wanted to make sure those last few episodes were very hard to show up and promote, but I wanted to make sure that the guests get the same support the other guests had when I was okay, because they took their time to come and talk that and share some knowledge. They needed as much support like that. So it was hard to really show up, but I was really dying inside. Like my life was really, and it was tough. I even stopped praying because I was in this place where I didn't think even God cared. But then
Sorry to hear
when
that.
I came into this year, right? No, but again, it's just in the mind, right? It's the things we tell ourselves in our mind. It's not the reality. Um, so when I started this year, I had to switch my mind. Mindset switch is real and very important. So I was like, yo, last year kicked my ass. This year we're gonna kick its ass. We're
How
gonna
about
turn it around. So
Yeah.
I started, that's why I was like, my word was going to be discipline. And I started praying and not worrying. I told myself last year I was worrying so much because a lot was happening at the same time. And I was really in a deep hole. I really wasn't sure how I would survive that year. So I was constantly worrying instead of actually praying and and having faith that God got me.
Yeah. That's important that you
So
actually take the time to realize that and just take that time to self-reflect because
exactly. So
it's really important for
when I
your journey.
when I realized I was lacking faith in God, even the prayers don't make sense if you don't have faith in Him to actually answer your prayers.
Yeah. Faith without works is dead. So you
So
have
that's
to
when I
do
was
it.
like,
You
so
can't
I was
just
like,
believe.
my word's gonna be discipline. If I wanna make this year a better year, I need to change stuff. I need to be disciplined. I need to do things different, and I need to pray and have faith. God got me, and not worry. And I really haven't been worrying this. I'm just like,
Because it's not your job to worry. I mean, if you're going to pray to God, then you need to let Him do His job. Your job is to just have the faith and do what you need to do to stand in your faith. His job is to make things happen. You can't do your job and His. You got to let it go. Sometimes we say we say, well, God, sometimes people need to get God now. Things we're such in a now culture. Everything needs to be immediate. We need instant everything, instant coffee, instant food, instant this, instant that. And we need to just be patient, because we have to, everything comes with time and everything has a season. And so last year you were in a season of darkness, and now this year you're in a season of light, and everybody goes through it. So I don't want you to like put too much pressure on yourself. Just take your time and just work through your stuff, and just
oh,
do what's best for you.
and, and, and that's why I've realized what I've just realized something. Our names have disappeared. StreamYard is doing some funny things today.
Hmm.
Anyways, but also it's funny we're talking about resilience, right? And then when you asked me that question, because as I was going to Podfest, shout out Atlanta. They did an article on me, which I'll post it next week. I haven't literally posted it. I forgot about it because it came while I was on my way to Podfest. So my entire mind was just Podfest. So, but the first question I answered was about resilience and how do you stay resilient? Because it is very hard to keep fighting sometimes when you feel like you're losing every battle you're fighting.
Yeah,
I
but you
mean,
have to
sometimes
take it one day at a time.
but that's the thing. When you're fighting them, those things don't apply because you are in a different space. You are just inside yourself, and that's why we we recommend that people have the support and share to people and talk to people. But some people don't have that, and that's why I tell people I don't condemn suicide and I don't wish suicide on anybody. But I do
Mm.
understand why some people end up doing it.
Yeah. I have never contemplated it myself. I can see
That's
how people get
amazing.
there. I can see how people get there. Trust me, I've been through a lot in my life. But I think for me, my saving grace has been my children. And I always say, listen, I cannot let anybody else raise them. I have to be here. So that means I have to push through. So I always dangled my own carrot. And that is what kept me going, is that I always said, listen, my children, my children were my carrot. I have to be there for them. That means I have to push through. So even like I have to celebrate my small wins. So when I am feeling like I am just hopeless, and listen, I raised them, my older two, I raised them by myself. There have been times where I thought I can't raise these kids. Maybe they need a different mother because the father wasn't in the picture. Yeah, he was around, but he wasn't helping. He wasn't around for us. He was just around, just to say, hey, I have a son, hey, I have a daughter, and listen. And there were times where he even went back and forth with the daughter. If the daughter was his, the daughter wasn't his, all that BS. But
The things men will do to get away, to get out of their responsibilities.
telling you, and it's like, okay, I have to really be there for them, because if nobody is wanting my children, I want them. I gave birth to them. I carried them. I want them. And so I have to be around for them because I don't want anybody else to raise them. I deserve them and they deserve me. And so when I had those moments where I felt hopeless, when I was choosing between Pampers, gas, and food, like I had to rock, paper, scissors it like on a daily basis. And I'm like 23 years old with 2 kids that are 15 months apart. So I had to rock, paper, scissors it. Okay, well, today we're going to eat, so they went sleep. Gas was always a constant for me, even though it was always a choice. I'm like, okay, maybe somebody will give me some gas money, but my kids certainly have slept without Pampers, but I know I had to feed them. And there was even a time I lived off of ramen noodles and tuna fish for a very long time because it was cheap and it would stretch. Or even bananas, like my kids had to eat. So I would just boil some, of course I'm an island girl for your audience that doesn't know me, but I'm an island girl. I'm from the Virgin Islands. And so we eat green bananas and we would boil the bananas until it gets soft. We would mash them and we would mix it with butter. And I would feed that to my kids and they would eat bananas, they would eat mangoes, but they would eat everything. And they would eat a little bit of the ramen noodles and tuna fish. They ate early. They thought it would table food early because that's what we needed. That's where I was at. So in those moments, yeah, I'm losing my mind and I'm thinking I want to give my kids up, but I never allowed my mind to really go so low that I would think that, okay, I want to take myself out, because I was like, I have to be there for them. So when you find your purpose, like you have to be there for something, like you mentioned your dad is you and your dad are very close, and when you think about if you're not
That's
here,
the reason I
how
never.
exactly, if you're not here, how is he going to go on without you? That's what got in my head. How would my kids go on without me? So that's what kept me going. That was what fueled my resilient spirit. Does that make sense?
Man, it does. It does. Because you and your kids, I have my dad. But that's what I'm saying. Some of us are lucky or blessed even to have that purpose that makes us not go above it,
Yeah.
the thought or even into the thought. There are those people who don't.
Yeah. And you
And
said you had
and
downloads to downloads, and your podcast is what really kept you afloat. My kids is what kept me afloat, because I didn't have a support system. I was just by myself. My parents were not helping. The father wasn't helping. My siblings were doing their own thing. I just felt like, okay, it's just me and these babies, and we're going to make it through no matter what, even if I have to give them up. That was what I contemplated. I contemplated giving my kids up because I felt they deserved better than what I could give them. At 23, I mean, living on an island, I mean, if you've ever lived on an island or lived in any type of a place that's dependent on tourism, or rural areas, it could get really expensive, and, not all places have that government assistance, and that's another thing that people don't really consider. Not all the places have government assistance to swoop in and help you and say, here, have this, the
Yep.
same, there's in America. I think that's why people get so enamored with the American dream, is because Americans have a lot of resources,
They do.
and when we as outsiders, we come in and we look at it, we're like, yeah, they're pissing on their blessings because I wish they had this in my country. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to use the resources because y'all just tripping. You know what I mean? It's like, I got to survive. I got to eat. I got to survive. I got to get my rent paid, my mortgage paid, you know. I got to get my job, like all that stuff. Like, come on now.
Say your
Use
shit,
it.
girl. Say your shit.
Use it. You have to use it, you know. Like I said, you know, I had to become my own champion, and I had to become my own source of strength because I knew that there was nobody else to do it. But I had to overcome. I'm an overcomer. That's really how I describe myself, because even around that time, you know, I had already overcome so much. I had so much that I was carrying in my trauma knapsack with these two kids. That was traumatic, how I had to really feed them. And I just felt like it wasn't even fair to them to have to live that way because they didn't ask to be here. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. When you say overcome, right? That part. That's how also I feel whenever I get into those thoughts. I'm like, but listen, I've overcome so much. Where I am right now, every shit that I felt like I couldn't pass through, I got through. And why give up now when it feels so much closer? Because I'm not where I was. That means I'm just getting closer. So
Exactly.
that kind of keeps me like, we gotta keep fighting, man. We gotta be resilient, because I know the life I want, and I'm not gonna stop until I get the life I want.
Exactly. And I think when you align your goals like that, you line them up, even write them out and put them on a big billboard where you can see them every day and you can look at it and you can stay aligned. When you set your intent for yourself and you say it out loud and you do your affirmations, you know, I feel like it sticks. And so that kind of serves as your platform for what you're going to do, what your next move is going to be. It sets your foundation for success, essentially, you know? So when you tell yourself, I'm not going to be a statistic, I'm not going to be that girl, you know, and my thing was, I left home at like 23 years old. I left home. Actually, I was 24. I left home at 24. So leaving the Virgin Islands and coming to America with two small kids, I said to myself, I will never go back. And I would make it so I will never go back, because there was a lot of people that were leaving the island and going to the States, and you know, they wouldn't make it, and then they would have to come back home with their tail between their legs, move back in with their parents and live that island life again. And I said to myself, when I go to America, I'm going to have me a plan. And don't mind, I have these two kids. I'm going to be successful because I want them to have the life that I didn't have. I don't want them to struggle as much, but I want them to struggle just enough to keep them humble. Does that make sense?
And you achieve the goal. It does.
Yeah. I
And you
want them to
achieve
struggle
the
just
goal.
enough to keep them humble, because you always have to know where you come from. And you always have to know that with God, all things are possible. That is one of my favorite sayings. With God, all things are possible. You know, so I stand strong in my faith. And you know, my dad used to tell me, he used to say, Noreen, I used to come downstairs to check on you. I lived in a downstairs apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment that my dad built beneath their house. And I lived there with my kids. And he said, Noreen, there are times that I would come down to check on you and these kids because it was just you and those kids. You're such a quiet person. I wanted to make sure you were okay. He said, but every time I come down there and I look through the window, you're on your knees praying. And the thing is, I would hear him. I didn't know somebody was there. I would hear, it was a gravel walkway. And so I would hear the gravel, but when I would look, I wouldn't see anybody. So all those times that I would hear the gravel and I wouldn't see anybody, I was like, oh, maybe I was hearing things. But when he told me that that's what he was doing, I put 2 and 2 together. And he said, I always saw you praying and I didn't want to disturb your prayers. So I just figured I'd come back at a different time. And that just made me it made me feel good that my dad was just like supportive of that. You know, he knew what I was going through because you know,
It kind
it's
of
hard.
was a guardian angel, because imagine your dad all the time coming at the time when you were on your knees praying. That's a guardian angel watching over you.
Yeah. Yeah. I always felt like there was somebody present, you know. I am no stranger to my belief of a higher power and higher beings. You know, I believe in angels. I believe in guardian angels. I believe in circumstances. You know, I believe in things happening for a reason, you know, but I also had a lot of belief in myself. Like when you like I never needed people to validate me. I've always just validated myself. And I think that's where I thrive, in that bubble where I know I can do it. You may not think I can do it, but I know I can do it. And I don't need to say, let me show you. I'm just going to do it because I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And so my kids grew up with that same spirit. They are very independent, and they are very spirited, and they understand, hey, you have to really just work your way through some stuff in your life, you know?
All right. Well, y'all had Miss Noreen preach over here, so we are gonna come to an end, as it's already 1 hour, and I'm trying to make this not longer than 1 hour.
I
But
know.
Noreen, thank you for joining us. And I mean, it was a very, if this conversation doesn't inspire anybody, because there was about love, there was about dating, there was about gym, and there was about faith, and we wrapped it up with resilience. So if you're out there right now thinking about giving up, just know there are people out there who are willing to talk to you if you need talking to pray with you if you need praying for, or who have
Yeah.
gone through that same place you are right now and gotten out. And they might not be thriving, but one day at a time. So reach out to the people around you. I mean, you can even reach out to me or Noreen. We don't mind if you're going through something and need a listening ears. Just slide in our DMs.
Yeah, there you go. Slide in the DMs, you know.
So
And
no,
I could leave anybody with any advice on anything. You know, we talk about resilience, you know, and bouncing back. It's not to say that you're not gonna fall. It's how you get up. But when you get up, my advice is, when you get up, do not just get up. Get up with a plan. Have a plan of action. Because if you just get up and you're just doing the same thing, then you're gonna keep falling. So you have to have a plan to get you out of your situation. Get to your root cause. Why am I even down here in the first place? You may need to change your circle. You may need to change your mindset, but come up with a new plan so that you would be able to bounce back, bounce forward, so that you would be successful.
so true. And sometimes even your surroundings, change of surroundings can help you try, try, thrive. Oh my God, I cannot. And I was sharing this earlier, right? I was sharing this earlier, right? These are all my podcasts. This was from the first one I attended in 2022. This was in 2023 and 2024. And all of them, you see how it went from, this was the first one. So I went from to this, to this. It shows, and I like that I have them, because it shows belonging in a community that actually sees you,
Yeah,
that accepts you, that supports you, that nurtures you, that pours into you as much as you pour into yourself. Because sometimes we don't see our growth. I look at this
exactly.
and I see my growth. I'm like, oh my God, look when I
Exactly.
went there the first time where I was. And because of these people, I didn't give up. I kept on going. I became resilient. So community is very a big factor of for me anyways. And it should be for most of people. So but
Absolutely.
as we come to an end, Miss Noreen, please let the people know where they can find you, what you're up to, if there's any amazing stuff for them to look out to.
Yes. So Noreen Foy, for those of you that are experiencing me for the first time. I am the founder of the Save Our Sisters not-for-profit group and host of Save Our Sisters Unplugged. And those platforms are dedicated to resilience, and I empower women to share their survival to success journeys through the power of storytelling. So I encourage them to share what has happened to them. So in my spaces, that is what I do. I'm a lover of empowerment women. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. Join my Facebook group. It's Save Our Sisters group. Also on YouTube, please subscribe. I am trying to grow my community there, as I will be doing a lot more in that space. And if you are in the Peoria, Illinois area, we do have, I have teamed up with my good girlfriend, Keisha Woods of Upgraded Mindsets. We are putting on, yes, we are putting on a luncheon, and the theme is renewing our resilience renewing our resilience, managing life after loss. And loss is not just loss of life. Loss could be loss of opportunities. It could be loss of a loved one. It could be loss of job. It could be just loss of yourself, because sometimes you can lose yourself in relationships. We're going to dive into it all. So it's going to be on March 16th from 12 to 3 p.m. And it's going to be at the Eastport Banquet Center, which is in East Peoria, Illinois. It's at the East Peoria Marina. It's beautiful. I got married in that facility. So just encouraging the women to come out for an afternoon of fellowship. We are going to be giving away a scholarship, and we are also going to be donating prom dresses to a group here called It Takes a Village. And so their mission is to not only donate the prom dresses to girls that cannot have, but they do so much more in our community here. So we've got a lot going on, and there's a lot of sisters out there that's just really trying to empower and uplift. And what we do is we just group up together, because one group can't do it all, and it does take a village. And that was always my slogan for everything in life. It does take a village. So I appreciate you inviting me to be on your Shit Happens episode, because a lot of shit was happening today, and I was late, and I feel bad and unprofessional, but thank you for giving me grace. I hope your audience gives me grace, because life just happens, and it happens quickly, and all you have to do is just, like we're talking about, bounce back from it.
I mean, if they don't give you grace, then they're really not my people, because my people, we are all about giving grace. And look, I mean, we are on Shit Happens, literally. So it is what it is. I mean, you still made it. You dropped some gems, and we had a blast. So that's all that matters. Thank you for still jumping on. And they had you on the loudspeaker when you called to freak out a bit. So it's fine. They had a little entertainment. But everybody else. And I will reach out. I wanna know more about the donated dress, the prom dress. I wanna know more about that.
Okay.
So we'll talk offline. But everybody who joined in, thank you for hanging out with me. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Sorry for the guest being late, but I hope I entertained you in the beginning for a few minutes. You had me, I still showed up. I hope you learned a lesson on showing up, staying consistency, and being resilience and faith, having faith. So until next time, shit happens.
Peace and blessings.